So the mainstream media is trying to tell us that joy is the biggest thing that we should be looking at leading up to the 2024 election, but I would argue that the border is an astronomically bigger issue to consider when selecting our next president. And you can tell what the impact of a Harris-Walz administration would look like when you can already see the devastating effects of Democrat policies on this issue have been to everyday people. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I do appreciate you clicking on the video to watch it, and since you are here, I would love it if you would help me to grow this channel. Hit that subscribe button now and make sure that you turn on the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any of my uploads. And of course, to those of you that are returning, you know that I truly appreciate you, and I would love it if you would make sure that you are subscribed as well. There are a lot of issues to consider leading up to the 2024 election, but I am hoping that the southern border is at least somewhere near the top of people's priority list. Now, the media has tried to pretend that Kamala Harris has had absolutely nothing to do with the border in the last 3 years, despite the fact that she has been in the White House, despite the fact that she was directly appointed as the border czar, and numerous left-wing media outlets referred to her as such, and there are articles everywhere, at least for now, proving that point. But now she is pretending to touch on this issue and pretend that she intends to do something about it. But she is using very specific language to indicate that she has no intention of solving this problem, that she has no intention of alleviating the devastation and the stress that people are feeling as they buckle under the weight of Democrat policies on illegal immigration. So let's briefly hear what she had to say, and then we are actually going to listen to what everyday people have had to deal with when it comes to the reality of what happens when you just vote on pretty talking points.
We know our immigration system is broken, and we know what it takes to fix it. Comprehensive reform that includes, yes, strong border security and an earned pathway to citizenship.
So first of all, I don't think that this point can be overstated. Kamala Harris is in the White House right now. So when she talks about how she knows how to fix it, whatever fix that she has in mind, she could do right now. She doesn't need to wait to be elected as president. She can do it right now. She could have done it 3 years ago. She and Biden have been in charge since 2021. And again, she has been the border czar since then. And her language about how she plans to solve this problem is very clear when she says it includes border security, but more importantly, a pathway to citizenship. So yes, of course, we're going to have border agents. Of course, we are going to have people that are going to be running some semblance of immigration policy and immigration oversight. But she is very clearly telling us that she has no plans to deport anybody that has come here in the last 3 years. And these are numbers that we honestly don't even have an accurate number of because it has been so large, because it has been such a big mess, because these people are not documented in any way. The bigger priority for her is going to be making sure that none of these people have to leave. And not only that, she has no plan to enforce any kind of vetting process to make sure that we're not getting people with criminal records, to make sure that we are not getting terrorists, to make sure that we are not taking on the burden of other people's problem from other countries. But a favorite talking point of the left is to say that people on the right are against immigration and that we are xenophobic because we want to have secure policies in place and make sure that we are not overloading our system by taking on too many people that we don't have the resources to take care of. And not only that, taking resources away from people that we actually do need to take care of, which are our own citizens. The word immigrant is not a race. It is not an ethnicity. You can be from Sweden, you can be from Paris, you can be from Australia, you can be from Canada, and that makes you an immigrant. My family is from Canada. They are immigrants, and they are the whitest people on the planet. We're actually starting to hear more and more from people that have to live with the consequences of what it looks like when someone just says the right things, or they make you too afraid to listen to the logic and reason of what the dangers of that policy might look like. And this is specifically in reference to sanctuary cities, where we were told that this is to welcome people in and they are not going to be deported and they are not going to be targeted by ICE and they are not going to be held accountable for breaking our immigration laws at all. And this, of course, has prevented people from vetting them, from making sure that they're not breaking our laws, making sure that they're not harming people in our communities. This has created a very unsafe situation for people that voted for something that sounded really nice. One of the cities that adopted this whole sanctuary city policy was Denver. And my family, we actually moved away from Denver 3.5 years ago. And this was one of the reasons, was this whole sanctuary city nonsense. But we could just tell the state of Colorado was turning into someplace that we did not recognize anymore. And we wanted to move somewhere where we were surrounded more by people that shared our values, that wanted to have that security, that understood what it means to protect our communities and to protect our country and to put America first. So now we are seeing what this actually means when you have untold numbers of unvetted people coming into the country and you live in an area with Democrats who have told you that it is racist and xenophobic to do anything about it.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain why I'm so upset. My wife is like trying to just go have a good time with her friends. But she's like super scared to be in the Denver area. If you live here, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't live here and you don't know what I'm seeing and what we see on a daily basis, do me a favor and shut up. Don't get all up in your feelings when I say this. It is completely unsafe in this stupid city of Denver, mainly because of illegal immigrants. Oh my god, get all up in your feelings about it. I don't care. It's not an over-exaggeration. That's not even my opinion. That's fact. That's real. What's even worse about the whole situation is if my wife had some kind of emergency. Heaven forbid, please God, no. But if she did, and let's say that her emergency just so happened to involve an illegal immigrant, she will more than likely be waiting for a police response for a very long time. You know why? Because it's dangerous for them to be out right now, especially with these illegal immigrant gangs. Yeah, they've put hits out on police officers in the city and county of Denver. Why nobody talks about that, I don't know, but that's real. It's happening. It's legitimately happening here. That's why they're not just out patrolling. It's a dangerous time to be here.
And I can tell you exactly why people are not talking about it, because they will call you a racist. They will call you xenophobic. They will attack you for pointing out the reality of the situation, because for some reason, the truth has become a form of bullying and become a form of racism and whatever other talking point that people want to use to keep you from actually sharing the facts. But facts are what keep us safe. Facts allow us to actually solve problems. If we don't know that these streets are being taken over and that police officers can't even go out and patrol and protect American citizens, then we can't solve the problem. We actually need to be able to talk about it. But we can't, because you're going to be targeted in some way if you do, because there are still people that are under this brainwashing, that are under this mind-melting programming, that believe that if you say anything about what the actual problem is, then you are the problem. Something that we constantly hear from Kamala Harris and people that support her, all of these childless cat ladies, and all of these Democrat women who seem to think that their reproductive rights are the only thing that women need to think about. We have women here that are saying that they can't even go out and have fun with their friends. They can't have a casual night out. They can't walk the street at all because it is completely unsafe. And I'm sorry, but being able to just go outside of my house and have a stroll with my friends is a right that I feel all women should be able to have, that all people should be able to have. So when you're talking about rights, do women have the right to feel safe? Do women have the right to go out and be with their friends and not worry about constantly being in danger? Because that is the reality of what is happening under these policies, under this chaos. So this is another video from a gal that lives in Denver, and she is trying to get the information out there as well, because this is not something that the mainstream media is going to talk about. They're just going to keep talking about joy and Kamala Harris and this bright light and this icon and this legend that she is, even though can't name one thing that she's accomplished. But they're not going to talk about the struggles of everyday people having to live with the repercussions of these policies that, again, are sold to us as something that just sounds so nice and so charitable, and under these social justice virtue signaling talking points. This is what reality looks like. You have to look 5-10 steps down the road. If we actually put these in place, what is this actually going to look like to live with? And that is what people need to be placing their votes on. So this is another gal in Denver talking about the impact, talking about the things that she is seeing, and all of us need to be aware of this, because this is what the entire country is going to look like if Kamala Harris gets into the White House.
So I'm not one to talk politics, never have been. I try to stay out of those conversations. I've always respected what everyone feels and thinks. I still do. But I don't think a lot of you understand what's happening in our country right now, mainly because most of you don't live in a sanctioned city. I live in Denver. So we're slowly losing control of our city, our cities. And the government's not doing anything. Governor Polis in Colorado, he is not doing anything about the apartment complex that has been taken over by Venezuelan gang members that have come over illegally. They have robbed 10 gun shops in Denver in the past month. They are strapping up, and this is just the first step. They're seeing what they can get away with. And so far, they've been in this apartment complex for almost a month. The police can't do anything about it. We haven't brought in reinforcements. And they're just living in this apartment complex they overtook, and no one's doing anything. What do you think they're going to do next? They're going to start overtaking more apartment complexes, more buildings, more facilities. What did our country think was going to happen when their time was up in the hotels we provided to them? I had a feeling they were going to start overtaking things, and that's what's starting to happen. It takes a lot to scare me. I've been to third world countries, never really been freaked out or nervous. Never thought that I would have to buy a gun to feel safe. And even when I get my gun in a couple days, I don't even know if I'll still feel safe, but at least I'll have a weapon. I've never been against guns, but I've also never thought that I'm going to need to buy a gun for safety. But here we are. Here we are. And if you don't live in a sanctioned city, I really, really encourage you to do some research and see what's happening to our country. I understand if you're a Democrat and you have your reasons, right? Abortion, you're pro-abortion and same-sex marriage. I'm fine with that. I understand we all have our own opinions and our beliefs, and that's important to a lot of you. But I hope you understand that although those are important topics when it comes to voting, if Trump or someone else is not in office other than Camila, whatever her name is, that stuff's not going to matter, because we will not have a country like we have now or have had. So it's not going to matter if abortion is legal or not. It's not going to matter if same-sex marriage is legal or not, because we're not going to have America anymore.
That's 100% true. I mean, when you think about all of the things that they are trying to sell people on, whether it be reproductive rights or transgender rights or same-sex marriage or any of these other things that they are trying to scare people into thinking that they are going to lose the right to, we're not going to have a country. Everything is going to be in total chaos. Everybody is going to be in total poverty. That is not a fear tactic, because we can see small pockets all over the country where this is exactly what is happening. Do you think that this woman here, do you think that most women, her and the one in the last video that we just watched, do you think that they are more concerned about being able to go to an abortion clinic or just being able to walk down the street and not get mugged or something worse? Fact of the matter is, if we don't have a border, we do not have a country, and nothing else matters. And this is relevant to a video that I just did where I was responding to a video by Liberty Hangout where Caitlin Bennett was talking to a Kamala Harris supporter, asking what his views were on her position on the Second Amendment, on banning AR-15s. And in that conversation, he was of the position that for self-defense, you only need one bullet and you're likely not going to be mugged or robbed by more than one person at a time. And clearly that is not true. And this is not the first story that I have seen about gangs from different countries taking over areas of the city and establishing themselves as an organized crime organization in the middle of these areas. So yeah, you are definitely definitely going to need more than one round if you are in danger. So what we have here are people that are creating an increasingly dangerous situation across numerous areas in the country while threatening to heavily restrict our ability to defend ourselves from it. So I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this in the comments below. Please be sure to hit that like button. Make sure that you are subscribed. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of my uploads. Thank you for engaging in the conversation, and I will see you in the next one.